Welcome, everyone. I am over the moon excited to be here today with my really good friend and colleague, Debbie Morton. If you don't know Debbie, you're missing out. Debbie is an amazing, amazing network marketer who gives and gives and gives from her heart. She's got so much knowledge, so much great experience, and I'm thrilled to have her here with me today. So we're getting raw and real. Great to have you here today, Debbie.
Thank you for having me, Gloria.
So, Debbie, the last 12 months for you has been quite the roller coaster, right?
To say the least, yeah.
Yeah. So you were the top earner in your company, and anybody who's been in network marketing for any amount of time has experienced different things. And network marketing companies come and go, people come and go, things change. You decided to leave that company where you were the top earner and went to another company. Let's talk about some of the reasons why people might leave a company, especially when they're the top earner, right? That sounds a little bit crazy to some people listening, but we know there are lots of different reasons.
Right. In my case, anything that I am promoting or offering, and I sometimes think of network marketing also as affiliate marketing because you can sell customers and then there's also the team builder side of it. I have to be completely aligned with the company, the products, the services. And there were some challenges and some issues, and it was just no longer the right fit. And I have to believe 100% in what it is that I'm offering, and I couldn't anymore. And actually, one of the verticals from that company branched off. And so I chose to basically start over and move over with the other vertical.
And how tough of a decision is it to start over again from scratch when you've built a team and you've been with the company for several years and you know that you're starting from ground zero with no income?
There's a part of me that would say it's a tough decision, but it really wasn't. I was actually at the point where I just can't do this anymore. I can't promote something that I don't believe is the best thing for people.
Mhm.
And so, it's you can think about all of the yeah buts and oh my gosh, I'm giving up this, but that's not an abundance mindset. If you change the thoughts in your head and it's like, how am I going to get to the top of this next company, or how am I going to replace my income as quickly as possible? And when you change the questions in your head to, oh my gosh, I'm starting over, this is tough, this is going to be hard, who's going to go with me, instead of asking myself those questions, I just had to change the questions in my head to, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to move forward?
Yep, great. So you decided to start over again from
Mhm,
scratch.
mhm,
Clearly, you had some people who decided they made the decision on their own to move as well and move with you.
mhm.
And this new company you went to is a startup. So we all know that there are challenges with startups, right?
Right.
So, well, and actually, the other company was a startup when you started with them, right?
I
Um,
love startups. I love being at the beginning of something, and if it's perfect or too late is kind of
right.
my philosophy. So I love startups. I love being at the forefront of something and the opportunity as momentum starts to grow with a new company.
Great. And let's talk some because these are things that most people uh, they want to sweep under the rug because they want to paint a super rosy picture and everything's wonderful and everything's perfect. But what are some of the challenges with startups in general that you've experienced because you've been with a couple of startups, right? Several.
Right. Right. I would say for me, there's a little bit of a difference because I am an online marketer. And so
Mhm.
there's sometimes some different marketing materials that we need as online marketers. And so it's just a matter of, first of all, there's the bumps in the road. We actually offered the product, it's a training service. We offered it for free for 6 months. And then once we went live, once we had a back office built out, then there was, the time and effort in making sure that everybody was in the genealogy properly. And now going forward, the product itself is amazing, and they're still working on the marketing for something to be simple and duplicatable. So that's where we are right now. I mean, I love the company, I love the product. It's just a question of, in network marketing, you also need something that's simple and duplicatable,
Right.
and so that's what we're working on right now.
And with some companies, it could be that they've got all the back office stuff and they've got all the marketing materials, but the product isn't there yet, right? Or I mean, sometimes it could be the product's great, but oh my gosh, the back office, you can't track commissions and everything else.
And
So
they've done that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're just, I mean, I'm with you. I love startups. And what do you think someone has to be aware of to go into a startup?
I think you have to be aware that everything's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be, if you want perfect, there are companies that have been around for 20 or 30 years. Everyone's heard of them, everyone knows of them, and you're starting kind of at the bottom of the entire genealogy. And that doesn't mean that you don't have the opportunity, because that's the beauty of this industry. It doesn't matter when you come in, everyone has an equal opportunity. It's just, with a startup, I love it because no one really knows. They don't have any preconceived notions. And
Right.
with that being said, sometimes there's, and I'm not, in a situation where there's shipping issues, but sometimes, the shipping gets backed up, or the supply, a chain, might be affected, or there's bugs in the comp plan that might need to be worked out. So you just have to be able to roll with it. And I think in startups, it's important to, like, usually in a startup, you're connected with somebody who's at a higher level, but really understanding the vision of the company and the heart of the company, the ethics and the morals of the company is where you need to really be focused on with a startup, and then just know you're going to roll with the punches.
Yeah. And sometimes with a startup, it's not so easy to really get a sense of the ethics and morals and the vision and everything because it's so new. People don't know yet, right? So there can be surprises in terms of, the foundation of the company as
Yep.
well. I mean, I
Yep.
think you just have to know that it's going to be a bumpy road, right? I've never heard of a
Yes.
startup that had no bumps in the road, never,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you started with this new company, and then in May, all of a sudden, your husband John passed away, like out of the blue, right? Really out of the
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah.
So I know that's anybody knows that that's going to be a real challenging situation. Um, how has network marketing helped you through, the passing of John?
It's been a lifesaver for me, in many ways. Number one, when you're in network marketing, you're always doing personal development work. You should be. If you're going to be successful, you have to be doing personal development work. So a lot of it was the personal development work that I had done. I was like digging deep into all of that, which I learned. And I have a good sized team, and they were my family. Like, I had people offering to come and be with me immediately. I had people I could reach out to. And because my team is international, if I needed to talk to somebody and it was at 11 o'clock at night for somebody I wanted to talk to, it's like I just go through my team and find somebody early in the day. Hey, can you talk? And so I had I had a family. I had people to reach out to. I had support, and I had residual income.
Yeah.
I could take a step back. There was, because his passing was so unexpected, and he had a business. He took care of all of the accounting and the bookkeeping for my business. We had joint accounts, separate accounts. He liked to play the credit card game. We paid everything off every month, but he was like, use this card because we get 2% cash back this month, and use this card. Well, when someone passes, and this is an important lesson for all of your listeners, is that when someone passes, depending on how all the accounts are set up, many of the bank accounts were being shut down, the credit cards were being shut down. I was like, I just wanted to make sure bills were paid. I literally had to unplug from everything for a good solid month. And it was every day on the phone with banks and credit cards and opening new accounts and moving funds, and you're in a fog. You're in a state of grief and a state of fog. I was keeping copious notes on everything. And I'm so grateful for this industry because my income didn't change. I
Right.
still had residual income coming in. So it was a true blessing that the work that I have been doing over the last several years was, in this situation, a lifesaver for me.
Yeah. And you hit on two things that I think so many of us are in network marketing for. One is the personal growth, the
Yeah.
personal development, and the other is the family. I mean, we get to know people. I mean, even though we may not have met them in person, when, you and I both know how amazing it is, how you really feel like you know someone because you've seen them on
Yeah.
Zoom calls over and over and over again, right?
Right. It's
So,
funny when you meet them in person, like, this is the first time we've ever met in person. Like, you just feel like you know them.
exactly. I know it's very weird, but that's the beauty of Zoom, right?
Yeah.
So, um, so you've had a bit of a change. I mean, you and I have talked about this a lot. You've had a bit of a change in your approach and your philosophy to network marketing over the last 12 months.
Mhm.
Um, can you talk a little bit about how you look at diversification now versus how you used to look at it?
Yeah, great question. And it's been interesting because I've always been a one-trick pony. I just love being passionate about one thing and walking the stage and getting the ranks and all of that, really, being a focal point inside of one company. And there's nothing wrong with that. Here's why a transition happened for me. After John passed on, I had some great coaching and some great mentorship because we take a lot of vacations, and we had a vacation plan to Malta. I'm going to share just a little backstory. We had a
Yeah.
vacation, not to Malta, but to St. Martin, like 1 month after he passed, less than a month. And I'm very visible on social media. And I thought, how is this going to look? My husband passed away, and I'm going to go sit on the beaches of an exotic island. Like, that just, the optics of that just doesn't look good. And those were the things that I'm saying in my head. And one of my coaches just said, take people on the journey with you. Like, take people on the journey with you. And so I did that. And in doing so, my following on social media has expanded exponentially. And I realized not everyone wants the one thing that I'm aligned with in network marketing. And I realized, now I'm going to sell everything. I'm going to go on the road. I'm going to live out of my timeshares because I have a lot of points banked. So my lifestyle is going to change. And I thought, people trust me. They're following me. Why not align myself with various products that I can help people with? If whatever somebody is looking for, that I use myself, and that I'm passionate about. And it's not just in network marketing, it's maybe an affiliate, being an Amazon, to say, here's a grief book that you can go to, or here's some books that I plugged into that help me. And so whatever it is that I'm using in my personal journey, there are people in my audience that I can help. So why limit myself to just one?
Yeah. And I mean, for me, one of the really important things about income diversification is because things happen in network marketing, right?
Huge.
Uh,
Yeah,
companies go
huge.
under.
Yep.
You decide that you're
Yep.
just not aligned with the company anymore, and you can't stay there, and you
Right.
have to make a shift, and you're starting over from ground zero.
Right.
So, good to be
Right.
diversified. I mean, I think that's
And
just
I will often say, I haven't failed the industry. The industry has failed me multiple times. I've had, numerous, I don't want to say bad because I learned from every experience, but things that
right.
I felt were hugely unethical, or companies going out of business. For one reason or another, I either left, or an entire team was taken and moved, for reasons that were out of my control. And because of that, you're right, just the diversification. If you are true to yourself, and here's the really important thing: you are not the company. And so many network marketing companies, there are some companies inside of their policies and procedures will say you cannot
Yeah.
be an independent rep for any other company. And I don't get that. Like, in my opinion, the company is there to serve me and my brand and my business. I am not there as their employee. And so to that extent, like, I would never join a company. Now, I get a company saying you cannot promote a competitor. Like, you
Right.
can't have two different health and wellness or two different weight loss. I get that. But if there's two entirely different industries, why not? And so I think it's important for network marketers to understand you are the business. People buy people. People buy, you based on knowing you, liking you, trusting you. And so with that, you're the business, not the company that you're a rep for.
Yeah, so it really is about branding yourself, right? We've all heard
Mhm.
that, but you and I have both done that. We've branded ourselves. That is
Mhm.
so critically important. Um,
Right.
so, what would you say over the last year has been your biggest business lesson?
It's and this isn't something that everybody, I certainly pray that no one goes through this. When I lost John, when John passed on, it forced me to think outside of the box that I was previously thinking in. And when I look back, it's unfortunate that it took something like that for me to really look outside of this narrow tunnel vision that I had, trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, not really understanding the value that I can bring to people. And through this experience, I think that's the biggest lesson is, and you taught me this a long time ago, Gloria, my hat's off to you for this one. Keep a mind that's open to everything and attached to nothing. And
Yeah.
that's really served me now.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that because when you and I had the biggest discussion, you were done with network marketing. You were never going to do network marketing again.
Never, 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 never.
And I said, Debbie, just keep a mind that's open to everything and attached to nothing. Just because, this experience, this particular experience has not been what you wanted it to be, does not mean that the whole thing is bad. And look where you are. You
And
went from that.
you also, because you had a different business at the time, right? And you
Yeah.
wanted to stay neutral. And it's an amazing industry. And absolutely, like there is no other industry that affords an opportunity to anyone. It doesn't matter, your race, your financial status, your upbringing, your education. It's a level playing field for everyone. And so when people truly understand the business and find the right fit and the right products, there's nothing like it. So yeah, I was very close-minded because I had some bad experiences, like many people have.
Yeah.
You get kicked around a few times. I'm like, I'm done. This is a corrupt, unethical industry. And you're like, Debbie, can you keep a mind that's open to everything and attached to nothing? There are people that make a lot of money and they do it ethically. I'm like, all right, I'll keep an open mind. And here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Um, and what would you say is the biggest life lesson you've learned over the last 12 months?
uh, Personal development.
Mhm.
I've always been doing that. I really, truly now understand the importance of it because I've had to tap into it at such a deep level. Losing your spouse, losing your soulmate, like your life changes overnight. And you're dealing with the grief and you're dealing with the finances and you're dealing with what does life look like going forward? Where am I? Like I don't even know financially, like where am I? Because we were a partner. And so for me, throughout the process, the pain is inevitable. You're going to
Mhm.
have those moments of pain, but living in the suffering is optional. And I'd say through the personal development work, and I've actually like dug even deeper into it to get through it. There was a thunderstorm outside one time, not right over me, so that wasn't dangerous, but it's like I'm just going to go down. I was having a tough day, just having that painful moment and a good cry. And I love a good thunderstorm. I love the rain. And so I took my tripod, I set it in the street, and I danced in the rain. And it was just, I don't know that I could have picked myself up out of that difficult moment and see there's something better I can be doing. I can be getting my body moving. I could go dance in the rain. And it just changed my state. And so I would say in life, and here's the other thing, and I'm going to throw this in there. I know we were talking about network marketing and everything else, but really be aware of all of your finances. If something, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
We're all leaving this earth someday. And if you're in a relationship, that's one of the messages that I'm really putting out now to an audience. It's nothing that I'm profiting on, but I will always now know exactly where I stand and make sure all of my accounts are set up. And so in life, that was a valuable lesson for me because John took care of everything. My own business accounts got shut down because he opened them and he set them up in his name. And so they froze my account. So I'm like, but that's my business account. So I had to hurry up and get things open. So tons of lessons that I've been learning, but I would say I will never stress it enough that personal development, knowing that everything is a choice. You do have the ability to change your state, to change your emotions, to take control of your future, to define your future. And it's really become very, very evident to me, especially in the last 4 months.
Yeah. So I'm so impressed at the way you've gone through this, and watching you go through this journey has just been, it's been really eye-opening for me. I mean, just Eric and I have all of our wills and everything, but still there are some little things that, watching you go through this experience, it's like, oh my gosh, well, we need to take care of this, you know um,
Mm-hmm.
but also just the way in which you've handled the grief and everything has been amazing. And I'm so excited for you because you just picked yourself up and gone on. And I remember very early on, like, I don't know, within a couple weeks after John passing away, you said to me, well, you know what? I realized I had a decision to make, that I could either wallow in this, those weren't your exact words, but I could either wallow in this or I could get up and keep going. And I've got way too much life to live to
Right.
sit around and do nothing. So you made a decision to create a whole new wild and crazy life adventure for yourself, although you told me for years that you wanted to do this. So what is it that you're setting yourself up to do?
Yeah, I love adventure and I love travel and going places. And one of the things that I had brought up to John, like maybe several years ago, I said, why don't we buy an RV and travel the country? And we actually went to an RV show. He's like, yeah, no, I don't think so. And we, you put the pencil to the paper, and it's like there's a lot of expenses in that as well. Since he is gone, and because of 2 years of the world being shut down, we are timeshare owners. I am not advocating a timeshare at all. I am saying that I'm very blessed that because we made a decision many years ago, and because the world was shut down, I have a lot of timeshare points that are banked. And so I have a sweet deal where I'm living. We just moved to a new state 5 years ago, and we thought, let's just lease for a couple years till we get the lay of the land and we know where we want to buy. 2 years went by, and the market went crazy. And so, okay, well, they're not raising our rent. We're in a really good situation here. And this is another thing about the mindset. There was a part of me that's saying, I've got this sweet deal. I can never leave this. But I also know in my heart, this isn't where I want to live forever. And John and I actually had that conversation 7 days before he passed. And he was bummed that we signed our lease for another year. And I said, I'm so grateful, because if something happened to you, I don't know that this is where I would buy a house. I would probably move to the East Coast. You don't want to live on the East Coast. It's too far from your family. Or I would move to Mexico. Like there are other possibilities that I would do if it were just me, that together with you aren't options. And so now that it is just me, and this little epiphany came for me when I was on a vacation and I was in Tennessee, and I realized I've got a year and a half's worth of timeshare points that I could literally live out of time if I do it right. There's always specials. So this year I am selling pretty much everything I have. I have a mind that's attached to nothing and open to everything. And so there's a few sentimental things that I'll get a very small environmentally controlled storage unit, and I'll put a few sentimental things in there, 5x8 or 5x10 unit. And I'm selling everything, and I'm going to live out of my timeshares. And I don't want to sleep in my car, but my car will be set up so that if I get caught in weather, if I can't find a place to sleep when I'm in between locations, I'll have the ability to sleep in my car if I ever have to. But I'm going to be a nomad. I have to now figure out a permanent address where my car is going to be, where actual mail will get to. But I'm just going to, for probably a year and a half, just, if I want to go overseas, I'll go overseas and live in St. Martin for a month, or I'll go to Mexico for a month, or I'll go to Europe for a month. And I can travel around the US, stay in Sedona or California, Florida, Williamsburg, Virginia. Like there's tons of places that I can spend time. And I'm excited to just go on a journey and see everything. And the fact that I'm in network marketing allows me to do that. It gives me the freedom. As long as I have a phone and Wi-Fi, I'm in business. And so for me, I have residual streams of income, multiple streams of income that allow me to go anywhere. I work when I want to work, and I'm truly blessed. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this adventure. There's a lot of work preparing for it, but I'm excited.
Yeah, but now wait a second here. I finally get to Arizona
I know.
permanently, and you're leaving.
I know.
That.
So we got 1 year to like totally enjoy this, but I
Yeah.
know.
But you'll always come back, and you will always have a place at my house to stay. In fact,
I
you know,
know. I just love it there. And we're so close to Sedona. You
yeah,
know, I'll be spending a lot of time in Sedona. So I'm still close. I just come down, come over the hill from Sedona. So
exactly. And we're now, we're going to have a whole suite set up for you, not just a
yes, I'm
tiny little.
excited.
Yeah. So a wild and crazy adventure that you're about to take off on. That's so exciting for you. The thing that I love too, Debbie, is that like I can just feel your energy when you talk about this stuff, and it's the right thing for you. Like it's so clear to me that this is not just some harebrained idea, but it's so clear that this is the right next step for you for some time, maybe not forever, right? Well, you're going to run out of timeshare points at some point, but but this is the right next step. And every time I talk to you, you have something new and different going on. Like yesterday, you were telling me about a new opportunity you joined. It was like, again, that feeling that, yes, this is the right next thing for you. So I'm so thrilled for you. So let's talk just a little bit more about, you just joined a new opportunity that's totally different from the other thing that you're involved in, the other opportunity that you're involved in. What made you decide to join this particular thing?
They're very different. One is a complete digital training platform, and it's a little bit higher buy-in. You're getting tons of education, and then you can use that education to create residual income for yourself. And it does require a little bit of work. One of the things that's really key in team building in network marketing is having something that's super simple and duplicatable. And because I saw another opportunity that was so unlike the first one, and I love them both. I
Right.
love that one teaches me a skill, and it's a skill. Once I have that skill, I never have to work again. It's an investing skill. I never give money to anyone else, but it's an investing skill that I can use for myself. And if you want to build a team, something that's simple, duplicatable, a very low buy-in, something that appeals to the masses. And so I just saw a perfect opportunity to blend two different things. And and there will probably be more that I'm going to add. I'm going to add some affiliate things and Amazon links and stuff. But this new opportunity is a startup, and it's a very low buy-in. The product pays for itself, and so yeah, I just, it's like take off that one trick pony hat. I'm not a one
Right.
trick pony anymore. I'm here to serve my following. I am the brand, and people are following me, and more so now because I have this journey and because of what I've just been through and all of the life lessons that I'm sharing when I'm on my Facebook page or in front of an audience. If I have this huge audience, not everybody wants to buy everything that I have,
Yeah.
but there are segments of this audience that I can help. If they're struggling with this, I have a product that can help them. If they're struggling with this, I have something that can help them. And I'm really here to serve the community. And it's not about the sale. It's about helping people. And I don't know if it was Zig Ziglar or Jim Rohn that said, if you help enough other people get what they want, you in turn will have what you want.
Yeah.
And my legacy is I don't have kids. I don't have nieces, nephews. Like I don't have living family. My team is my family. And my legacy is just being able to help as many people as possible. I don't need to have super expensive homes and fast expensive cars, and I don't buy a lot of toys. I love to travel, and if I'm traveling, I want to travel in first class and stay in nice places. I'd rather put my earnings into that than just buying expensive stuff. And I remember being at a mastermind program. It was about 5 years ago when I was actually working with you. I went to another event,
Yeah.
and they said, like, write out your legacy. And I just sat there and went, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't have a following at the time. I wasn't in network marketing at the time. I didn't have a team. I didn't have a family. I'm like, I honestly don't know. If something happened to me, some charity is going to get it all, but I have no clue what. And it was a very sobering moment for me. And now I realize I make a difference. I make a difference in other people's lives, even if it's just one person or 10 people or 100, but there's also a ripple effect that goes out. And when you change one person's life and they change two people's lives and they change 10 and it keeps going and it keeps going, I just want to make a difference in this world. And I want to help those who have been struggling so hard for so long to make this industry work for them. And it's not clicking. They don't get it. If I can help somebody have the success that they want and they deserve, then that's really where my mind is focused right now.
I love it, Debbie. It's been so fun to see you go on this journey, despite the not so pleasant experiences, the ups and downs over the last 12 months. But, it's just so great to see you in a really, really, really good place. Not that you don't still have those moments of grief, but I know that you do know how to deal with them, and you're blessing so many people. So,
and Gloria, I want to give so much credit to you. And you and I met at a time when I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. I had skills that I didn't realize I had, and a lot of limiting beliefs and a lack of abundance beliefs. And I want to give a huge, huge shout out to you. There were a lot of come to Jesus moments where you didn't pull any punches with me, and you gave me a lot of opportunities. You shared with me a lot of knowledge, and you believed in me. And that, I think, is the most important thing about this industry is before you have the belief in yourself, knowing that someone has the belief in you. And that's where this industry is so beautiful and where the relationships are formed, because we see the potential in someone else before they see it in themselves, and then to nurture that and help it grow and give them a vehicle that they can grow with.
Yeah, thanks, Debbie. And I remember it so clearly. It was mind-boggling to me. It's like, Debbie, you're such a master at this. In that one particular thing was, sales and closing the sale. I mean, you're just a genius at it, an absolute genius at it, and so many other things as well. But it was like, what? How can you not see how
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Yeah, I learned a ton from you about, how to close the sale and personalities and all that stuff. But so, Debbie, I know that people who are watching this and listening to this will want to find out more about you and follow you. And I will put your Linktree link in the comments, and we'll get it out with the podcast and everything. And it will be on YouTube. But the best place for people to follow you right now is on Facebook, right? Debbie Morton, Morton, on
right.
Facebook, right?
Yeah. Facebook is probably, that's where I am most active right now, just because my bandwidth was so limited for a while, and because my business model has been evolving and changing. I haven't really, taken off on some of the other platforms. So the Linktree link is really the best place. There's a way you can connect with me and book a call. You can get my link to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I'm soon going to have a YouTube channel. And so as I start to grow different social media platforms, that's the best place to connect with me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Debbie, for being willing to share so many of your personal experiences with us. It's been really incredibly valuable, and I so appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.